Now, the last video we shot with King Nana,
Yes.
aka Manchester City
Number
fan.
1.
The only fan in Kenya. The last time we shot, we discussed what happened after the first 6 Premier League games, and some teams of course doing well, some were not. And then we had a few predictions going into the season. All of us said Liverpool were not in the title race.
We never gave them a chance.
Yes, something on contrary happened, because Liverpool are currently at the top of the table and they look like they are running away with it.
Yeah. It's a huge shock, actually. They are currently 11 points clear.
Yes.
But it's so easy over title race when you're with Arsenal. They make it so easy. They make it so easy.
You had to say that, Manu will be watching this and he'll be like, or is actually watching this and is like, wow. So you had to say that. But I think somehow Arsenal are a troll team, because we expected that the rivalry that has been there with them and Man City for the last 3 seasons, we would expect that if City would fall at any point in the next coming seasons, then Arsenal would have won it. But they just troll themselves. Whenever they want to sign a striker, for them to maybe have a good firepower up front, they end up with a left back. So they have like 3 or so left backs at the moment, which is something shocking. Well, we will be discussing every Big 6 team in this episode to see where they are and why they are there and where they could finish for the season. So let's begin, of course, with the league leaders, Liverpool.
The Liverpool.
Yeah.
Wow, Liverpool have been quite... I think no one actually predicted that they will actually do it, especially with the new manager Bounce coming and taking control with no signings. Didn't bring anyone within the team. But much of the fact, I think, has been with the core of the team. The Van Dijks, the Salahs, who are actually the ones who had spearheaded the team. Salah is on course actually to, at the time of recording, to break Thierry Henry's and KDB's assist record. And he's also actually going to looking like he'll go away with the golden boot. Well, that guy has been quite phenomenal. He's been so, especially at his age. Going now from being an pure goal scorer now to a chance creator, now doing all of them simultaneously. And also, let's not forget Van Dijk's leadership at the back. Him and Konate, when Konate has been there, a bit of Kwanzaa when Konate was injured. Van Dijk has been a strong pillar and arguably one of the best defenses in the league. And also I think Alisson coming in, then he went injured a bit,
and then he came back.
I think it's the core and spine of the team that has actually propelled Liverpool to continue. And also something worth noting, Arne Slot, their manager, tactically he has been able to adjust to each and every team. He hasn't been having like some sort of just rigid structure, like when you can say a Pep Guardiola team would play like this. He's been able to adapt to each and every team that he's facing across the season. You know what?
You've said everything that you can say, so I'm not gonna even say anything about Liverpool, but what I'm gonna do is clap for Anslot. I mean, never is it easy to come to the Premier League and your first season, regardless of the team that you are going to inherit, it's not very easy. So credits to Anslot for keeping these minds together and having a gap of 11 points as we speak, which means they will be running away with this.
They already ran away with
when you look at it, Arsenal are not in the mode, Man City are not in the mode, Manchester United are getting relegated. Amen. Chelsea, we don't know what they're doing.
Chelsea is Chelsea.
No comment. So let's talk about Arsenal. What is it that has made Arsenal not be like go toe to toe with Liverpool? Because at the first we thought it will be Arsenal and Man City, which we will come to it. But now Arsenal looks like they just also not in the mode, because every time Liverpool have been making mistakes in terms of dropping points, Arsenal will go on the next day or in the next few hours and drop points.
Arsenal is Arsenal.
That's your answer.
I think they should just give up hope. Hope is a thing that kills you. And we told them to stay humble, and they didn't hear Erling Haaland. But I think Arteta has been too stubborn, I'd say. because we all knew Saka was being overplayed.
Yeah.
And at the time of recording, he's injured. He's their best player going forward. We are seeing now that team going away, the whole forward line is collapsing. They don't have a recognized number 9. Each and every fan knew like we need a recognized number 9 so that we can actually push now our title ambitions. And going ahead, I think what Arteta was simply doing was just adding more defensive reinforcement, which is not bad, but at least he should have actually also concentrated on much more firepower.
Agreed.
I've always been looking at the past Premier League winning teams, when Man United were actually good teams, with the Cristiano Ronaldos and Man City with Erling Haaland, Aguero, Liverpool with Salah, Chelsea with Drogba, and the likes. You always have to have like that guy who's going to give you 20 plus goals a season. It can either be you're recognized number 9, and if not, you should be having a high prolific winger. Like the Mo Salahs, the Ronaldos, the
I will agree with you, because in most teams that have been winning the title, we've seen like contribution towards the number of goals. You need to have at least one player, as you said, who's making like at least 20 goals, and then you need to have also like a versatile attack, which players that can come from the bench. We've seen when Manchester United were winning the Premier League back then, they had Carlos Tevez, they had Rooney, they had Ronaldo in the same damn team, and then they brought in Berbatov. At the same time, when Manchester City were winning the Premier League,
it's just last season.
Okay, let me speak of pre-Pep. We had Dzeko, Balotelli,
Aguero,
you know. So you need firepower up front. So I think that has been the downfall for Arsenal. They didn't do it, and actually I was surprised because when January transfer window was open, they actually just didn't do anything.
Yeah, that should have been the first thing you're actually going for.
Yeah, and then of course that is about Arsenal. There is a chance for me. I think they can finish second, but of course that is where they've been for the last few seasons. We have a surprise visit in the top 4 currently as we speak. Who's Nottingham? What has made Nottingham be wherever they are now?
I'd credit to the manager, Nuno Espirito Santo. I remember that time when Wolves were menacing. They were actually a real threat to everyone. I think I think it's Nuno's approach to teams, especially these teams, and how he builds up his robust structure and sticks to that same first 11. You see like prolific wingers like Hudson-Odoi, you see like Elanga, and also Morgan Gibbs-White, there the chance creator. We've seen Wood. Actually, he was actually a shocker, being actually, I think, he's the top scorer right now, I think, with 19 goals. They are on about in the Premier League currently. And also they have a stable defense. With the likes of Sales at the back. I think they brought in this guy from Monaco. What's his name? That number 5, that big robust guy.
Is it Manquillo someone?
Yeah, he's actually been quite that pivotal also at the back. Ola Aina. And Nuno has also stuck to that same setup,
same structure
all through, and they've been kind of lucky also not to get any injuries on their star players. But it's such a shock for everyone that they were in top 4. But it's actually also it's like that breath of fresh air, since like those teams also like coming up and also like now challenging the big 6.
For sure, credits to Nuno, and especially creating a monster from Chris Wood, a striker who was a good striker previously in the teams he's played, but we didn't see him like we are seeing him right now. He's on a goal scorer, like a very regular goal scorer in the Premier League currently, and kudos. So I think, as you said, you've said everything. The team structure, the way they play, they're sticking to the philosophy, which is good. So credits to Nottingham Forest for being
that
number 3
counter-attacking team.
Yes, as of now. And then number 4, a surprise. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, my team. My team has been.
In a nutshell, what do you think? What is the problem?
I think we've won a lot, and we actually just want to give you guys a chance for you to go there.
Who are you giving a chance?
Not Man United, of course.
Who are you giving a chance? You gave Arsenal a chance,
but Arsenal is still Arsenal.
Right. What is happening at Manchester City?
I think the first thing, and we we saw it coming. Was Rodri going out, and we didn't do much in the summer transfer window. What we actually did was actually buying Savinho and also just getting Gundogan free transfer. We actually thought of the elevators. So we've seen a number of Pep's press conferences. He said that it was the goals fail and also not going all big since they were planning to do the rebuild 2025. But so you see now the core team, people are old. We don't have that physicality anymore. Pep can come and have these tactics, you create double pivot, do everything I'm supposed to do, overload the midfield. But if the team lacks the physicality, it crumbles. And also, as we know, the midfield is the spine of any team. So without a proper midfield, the team also will crumble. And also, adding to it, will also lots of injuries from our core players.
Especially your key players who have been delivering season in, season out, have not been performing, and some of them have been out for quite some time.
True.
It's not good to talk about personal matters when it's just football, but somehow I always think maybe what Pep is going through on a personal life could be affecting his team and the dressing room as well.
Probably. Probably.
But we will never know.
We'll never know that.
Anyway, we said we will stick to the big six, but we also had to include Nottingham because they are third at the moment. But now let's jump all the way to number 7. We have Chelsea.
I remember Chelsea fans were telling us that they don't want to win the Premier League title. They just want 3 points. It looks like they forgot their agenda in the long run. Chelsea, but Chelsea, much to be said about their coach Enzo Maresca. You could see at one time I was seeing when he was still managing Leicester, a few championship games. The Leicester fans were complaining then that he doesn't know how to beat teams that are playing with low blocks. So that much to be accredited also, and also I think they also usually have a huge squad, but I think that's all the song for every hour because they have this huge squad. Now he's working on clearing them out. And but also I'd say lack of firepower also up front.
Jackson being injured most of the time out, and you also don't have like a certain kind of striker who will score for you goals day in, day out. That has been a problem. And I think they started so well this season. Funny enough, along the way, after they tested second, they were second for
a brief
and
period.
They were supposed to win a game and go top of the table, and then just things crumbled down. I think they are a young team. Averagely they have the youngest squad in the league. So I was thinking at the time when they were doing so well that Enzo was actually overachieving for this team. Because when you finish third in your first season, then you have no chance to finish any other position other than going forward. You have to be climbing, and any other position they would have finished less than maybe third or so, it would have been a problem for him. Maybe he could have even been sacked, maybe, you don't know. So I was tipping them to just try and understand their squad at the moment. So I think the position they are in now, they are disappointed with it, but it's still a good position to be in as Chelsea and as a rebuilding season, as far as a building season is concerned.
But moreover, also, I think they should be actually going all out for a new goalkeeper. But Sanchez is he's not that kind of guy who will actually elevate you to a higher level.
Should they recall Kepa?
They can't recall Kepa. And also a centre-back. Their centre-back pairing has also been horrific this season. We see Disasi now going also to Aston Villa.
Sure. And then we have Tottenham Hotspurs, who are number 12 at the moment as we speak. What's your in a nutshell, what do you think is happening at Tottenham as well?
There's that saying that Spurs are just Spursy.
London teams are
just London teams. They don't know. Actually, the best London team that I actually love is actually Crystal Palace.
Not Fulham?
Fulham to some extent, but I love Crystal Palace more. But Spurs have been also a bit curtailed with a lot of injuries as well. Their centre-back pairing of Romero, Van der Ven. Also we saw Udogie at some point went out, and they were bringing in the likes of Dragusin, now Jed Spence and whatnot. I think also there's a period where Son was a bit out for and also Solanke wasn't as expected, and the minute that he was actually scoring goals, he got injured again. Richarlison didn't live the expectation. Timo Werner is just Timo Werner. I think there's there's also a lot of issues with the injuries as well, and also I think they usually don't have that mentality of actually going forward. It usually lies also with their brains.
Yep.
You have to have that urge of we want this. You can see they're beating Man City today, and tomorrow they lose to Ipswich.
They lose to Ipswich. I just said, I'm talking about Postecoglou, that he wins in the second season. And I don't think he's winning anything
until he met
season.
Tottenham.
And it's quite sad to see. Injuries have been part of his problems, but still, when you still have injuries, if you have a proper team and a proper plan, there is no way you're going to be the position Tottenham are in now, especially putting in mind what they have like invested squad-wise in their team.
True.
Well, that's about Tottenham. How about this team? They sacked Ten Hag. They thought that Ten Hag was a poor manager, maybe which it is, who knows, or we saw it. And they brought in Amorim, a man who was doing so well in his previous team, a team which was on a good run, and he came to a team and things just still crumbled, went from
bad to worse.
Bad to worse.
But what's wrong with Manchester United? It's your team. What do you think is actually the issue there?
First things first. I think we brought Amorim in at a wrong time in the season. It's like we started our season in the middle of the season. That is the first problem. The second problem, the players he has are very rigid. They cannot play his system, his style. He's a manager who wants players who can hold the ball and create something from holding the ball. The players we have, and I'll name them, Bruno Fernandes, being the captain and the leader of the team, Casemiro, who's currently playing because we have a number of injuries in the midfield, Alejandro Garnacho, who is arguably one of our best players after Ahmad is injured, and we also have Dalot. These kinds of players, they are used to counter-attacking kind of football. They can't hold the ball. When Amorim tells them, you need to hold the ball, what they do is play slow football. So they are not encoding the message. So I'll say it will take time. I don't fancy us being relegated. It can't happen because the teams below us are way worse. We just need to win a few games and then we come back on the top a bit, maybe in the bottom, in the top half. But still, there is a lot of work to be done for that Manchester United team. I'm not going to say the probable fixes, but I just told you we have players who play hot potato kind of football. That's why we are so good on transition. That's why we play so well against Big Six, but we cannot play teams that have, just like you said against for Chelsea, we cannot break down teams who are the back. So when a team scores against us, it's very hard to come back in the game unless they make mistakes or unless they become complacent. So I'm hoping for a good new season. And for me, if you asked me where we would finish this season, I'd say if we try our best, it could be at most number 12 or 10. If we try so much, number 10. Where do you think Manchester United would finish?
I'd actually hope you guys get relegated.
Where do you think Tottenham would finish?
I think 10.
Where do you think Chelsea would finish?
I'll go, I think 7th, where
7th?
they are currently.
Now, name me your top 4 then, if you're excluding Chelsea from your...
I'll actually go with Liverpool, Arsenal. I'd stick with City. I don't see and Nottingham still. I don't see them getting out of that.
All right, that is Nana's opinion. I can't say anything about top 4 right now because even just saying that Liverpool